First day, the shortest Asian woman I've ever seen in my life spends half the day talking to me, asks me to marry her after 4 days. Do I ask my parents for help?
What's wrong with you? You a grown ass man.
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact. It's totally science. Go ahead, look it up if you felt like it. I can't really tell you how to live. It's just a suggestion. We haven't had a Greentexts video for just a minute, so I thought that I would remedy that today because I miss the insanity. I'm sure you do as well. It doesn't have any particular theme, but usually one develops along the way. So join me, won't you? And we'll see if we can connect the dots. Japanese Chadanon appears. Someone crept on my country on the internet. Mysterious comrades come out of nowhere and defend it for free. Does this happen in your country? Russian Anon says, someone shit on my country on the internet. My country flags appear and agree. That's it. Perfect. How about this post? When are these a-holes getting nerfed? It's just cavemen stabbing some sort of cow to death. No fur, only 2 legs, no claws, shitty jaw that can't bite anything, can just throw sticks and walk. Throw stick, ow, it hurts. Run away, ha ha, get wrecked, ape cucks, lamau. Yeah. That is probably what cows are thinking all the time. Stop for a rest. As I try to regen HP, Ape Man comes walking over the hill. Have to run again. Can't get far. His stam's already taken a hit. Not long into the rest, sure enough, Ape is back again. He's just walking. I can only run so far. He just keeps walking. So what you're saying is, the rise of the caveman was similar to the rise of a zombie horde during the Paleolithic era. I did try to do this real life as a game thing over on Life RPG, but it got too nebulous, I think. If you do want to check it out, I'll link that in the description or something for you. Probably pinned comment. Anyway, continuing. This is bullshit! I'm sick of the server admins doing fuck all about it. This is a clear, infinite stamina exploit. I mean, sorta, yeah. Sweating's a hell of a thing. And this F-tier character should not be taking out S-tiers and winning just because of one piece of its kit. I'm starting a change.org petition so the devs sort this shit out, because I'm just going to stop playing until this crap is fixed. I mean, yeah, you don't really get to roll again, as far as we know. And as cool as trudging across the forest and chasing down some animal is, isn't it much more efficient to talk about trapping? This is probably the most amazing things that humans have done. I don't even have to be active for this to work. It's beautiful. Anyway, next one. This one's about Gears of War 3. Fascist government's the good guy. Being a cog in the machine is good. Has literal farms to produce roided up babies to fight in its forever war. A character was in said farm and was assaulted for years before they realized she was completely infertile. How the hell did Gears of War get away with this shit? They got away with a lot of stuff. You could chainsaw a monster right in his face. They're like, your game doesn't show any boobs, right? Bam! Rated M, but totally great for store shelves. And really, that M level kind of increases intrigue for the kiddies, you know? I mean, at least back in my day. Nowadays, you kids have your online storefronts and mommy's credit card. Disgusting. Yeah, okay, I copped all that or whatever, but Gears of War 3 is pretty cool, yeah? Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. Good night, Grandpa. Next post. Oh, I think I saw this one on Twitter. Someone stole my sandwich for 1 week straight. Ask HR for camera recording. It's Ahmed, the Islam enjoyer. Trap card activated. Make the pork as tendy as possible so it feels like chicken. 40 grams. Spread bacon grease on both bread slices. 7 grams. 2 drops of white wine alcohol. Feed him for 8 months. Let me tell you who's really losing here.
Joke's on you, I'm into that shit!
He even brags about some infidels always preparing lunch for him. So far, he's consumed 7.68 kilograms, that's almost 17 pounds of pork, 1.344 kilograms, about 3 pounds of bacon grease, and 1/9 of a vinegar bottle. Do any Islamic scholars here know how deep in hell he is now? And indeed, Islamic scholars from all over the internet swarmed. The answer's on Twitter, the answer's on Reddit. I presume he got the answer in this 4chan thread, and the answer is, if he's consuming pork without his knowledge, then it doesn't really count. But the theft part definitely does, so I don't know. Maybe just leave around some bigger things for him to steal so you can laugh and be like, I've given away $50,000 of my money, but he's gonna go to hell, right? I don't know, man. All this sounds really strange to me. But at the end of the day, as long as you feel good about it and he remains fed and feels pretty good about it, I think it's a win-win. Next post. In this thread, inaccurate movie details that make the film unwatchable. At 50 minutes and 35 seconds in It, 2017, a Lego model with lime parts is dropped. 2x2 slopes in lime were not released until 2010. It is set in 1989. Oh my god, what a bombshell! Oh, for fuck's sake, is that piece 4,650,630 that came out in 2010, even though the scene is set in 1989? Ding, 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 ding. Is that like a dunk on CinemaSins or something? Who's that woman next to him on the couch in the last frame? It's gotta be his sister, or his mom, his caretaker. I really wouldn't let all that get in the way of my enjoyment of the film, but, you know, we all live our different lives, and if that ruins it for you, then that ruins it for you. Although I do find it rather sad. Anyway, next post! Bro, this interview's boring as hell. It's the Tucker Carlson Putin interview. If you didn't watch it for 2 hours, I don't blame you. You could literally cut off the front half of it, because that shit don't truly matter. Anyway, let me tell you a story about Catherine the Great. In the 8th century, a priest was once called to lead Russia from Ukraine. Let me tell you about the treaty created by the Austrian General Staff. Seriously, what the fuck is he talking about? Who gives a shit about the 8th century? I mean, it's rather impressive to a lot of people that he can recall 1,000 years of his country's history when probably the last 5 of our recent presidents couldn't recall even 20% of that, a 200-year history. He talked about something about which he was passionate, which was his country. He made himself seem very knowledgeable on the subject of his country. Of course, anything else they tried to talk about, I mean, they're both essentially just schizoid rambling towards each other. I don't know if there's some sort of culture or language barrier there, but yeah. A lot of this was like non sequiturs and sort of unwatchable. For once, I must concede that Anon has a point. I wish I could have those 2 hours back. I learned nothing. I mean, I learned a lot, but nothing that is applicable to my life. Anyways, we're moving on. Do women not know basic physiognomy anymore? Be me, texting girl, roughly 6.7 to 6.75. I met on Tinder. We're talking and I mentioned that I'm surprised she matched with me. She asked, why? Because we had similar interests. I'm honest and say because she's out of my league. I'm about a 4.67. Cut him some slack. He's trying to looks match, okay? She plays it off and says she isn't. Send her pic related, plus the female version. Explain that my ears and lips, as well as my rounded jaw and hair texture, place me firmly between 4.5 and 5. Whereas she's at 6.75, but her quasi range could probably allow her to reach as high as a 7.5. What the hell are you even talking about? This is autism kicked into overdrive. You see, it works really well when you're spotting Legos in the It movie, but interfacing with another human being of the opposite gender, really difficult for some reason. Just ask her about some things she likes. Let her spin a yarn and hop in if you need to, you know? That's really all it takes. I explained that this makes her eligible for someone at least 2 tiers higher than me on the chart.
Don't make me tap the sign.
I guess the game plan here is he assumed she'd be astounded by his knowledge, but the downside to that was, yeah, you basically convinced her to go with somebody else. You could do better. She's like, okay, then I will, bye. Then Anand's over here like, I shot myself in the foot. How did this bullet get in my foot? You did it. You did all of it. Whatever next post. Be European. Wake up in the freezing cold because of gas pipeline shut off due to neighboring country being stupid. Go to work. On the way to the station, a Somali pickpockets you. Get on the train. Pakistani starts stabbing you. Oh, God. Work mind-numbingly boring, stale office job for 8 hours. Come back with your weekly paycheck of €50. Come home. Cry self to sleep. Huge bomb comes through the window. Finally, peace from being European. It might actually make a fun video going back and forth between Be American, Be European posts. I'll have to note that one down for later. Anyway, moving on. Be me! 89 years old, see? In my 20s during the 1950s, man! Literally the greatest time to be a man. I could work 36 hours a week and afford a gigantic, nice home, see? Didn't have to worry about internet, politics, PC culture, or any sort of non-essential distractions of life that actually made life existentially way worse. I hate to agree with that, but I agree with that 100%. It's all gone to hell, man. I could bang my wife at any time, see? And she'd be happy and ready to. And she loved it, man!
Oh, I don't believe you.
Yeah, and then when you roll off of her after 30 seconds of thrusting with your neck instead of your pelvis, she heads off to an ether frolic to try and forget the experience that she just had, to try and make her way through another day. But no, yeah, the idealized version that you're saying is probably true too, somewhere. I never banged with anyone I didn't love because I had morals, see? And a good head on my shoulders, man! And no outside influences such as TV show characters or celebrities that were idolized for sex culture. You never watched the Andy Griffith Show? Little Opie eating pie when he made it with Aunt Bee? All women were wonderful and understood their important roles in society, meh, which was helping to raise a fun family that made America a better place. Damn, that really is what makes the difference. You have to want for your country to be in a better place than it is now. Unfortunately, America's worldwide export of malaise and apathy has caused most people to just accept the way that things are. A lot of what this fella says makes a lot of sense to me, see? I'm gonna start talking like him a little bit, meh. Anon also wants you to know that ice cream was so much better back then. Yes, indeed. Real flavors made with love and care, not all these artificial flavors and preservatives. You want something special? We got pecan and mint chocolate chip and Rocky Road. What the hell's a sorbet? What is a gelato? I should drag you out in the street and put the boots to you for even suggesting it. See, it's sort of a blend of that guy and Grandpa ReddX, I guess. Whatever, dude. My attention span was the size of a small country, and I could literally focus on anything and achieve whatever I needed to. I feel sorry for you modern-day morons. You truly did miss out on the greatest time of life. See? Yeah, I mean, I guess I do sort of see. I see how nostalgia has tainted your view of things. I don't think anybody at any time in history was ever truly happy because it's just sort of part of the human condition. You're always wanting that little bit more, which is good. I think it's healthy. But to sit back and pretend that like anybody born in the 1950s just had everything handed to them, it's stupid. If you were deranged schizophrenic in the 1950s, you wouldn't get to post on 4chan. They'd lock you up in a mental hospital and shock you every day. Now you tell me which world you prefer to live in. Whatever. I'm not going to sit here and argue with the fake post. Next one. Oh, good. Welcome Ronald Reagan to the stage, everybody. Boo, hiss. Ronald Reagan speaks out against socialized medicine. So a C-list actor's career flopped, and now I have to pay $1,000 to set foot in an ambulance? Any other examples like this? I mean, yeah, sorta. Let me tell you about this young Austrian man that tried to go to art school. That was a little bit worse, I guess. But that's why everybody talks about him instead of Reagan. He's terrible, dude. Although he did have a great plan to build a Death Star and defeat the Russians after he saw Star Wars.
Mr. President, are we getting a Death Star?
Oh, we're getting a Death Star!
It's true. Look it up, for real. I'm not a big fan of the villain arcs, nor do I know all that much history, so yeah, I'm just gonna move past it. Sound like I said something smart and don't question it any further. Dissanon says, buy big pillow. Spray female perfume on it. Hug it while laying in bed, imagining it's a cutie girl. Kiss it and whisper, I love you. Good night. Pillow never says anything back.
Come on, Lois, move or something. She's just like doing it with a pillow.
Feel even sadder while falling asleep. What level of loneliness are you on? I mean, I've been in some dark times in my life, but it's never been this dark. At what point do you get up and try and go build a human relationship if it's tearing you apart to not have one this much? Then again, maybe I'm just super disconnected and a whole generation of 20-somethings don't know how to build a human relationship. And that's super depressing to me. Dating apps aren't going to fix it, I know that much. Unless you're really good at building a profile and holding a conversation. What's the last resort? I guess if you need the pillow to talk back, you can like program some generative AI or something like that.
So good.
Yeah, really unloaded in you.
I love you too.
All right.
I mean, she will tell you good night. It's still sad as hell, but it might ignite your passion to go out there and chase something more, you know? Or it'll spiral you down into a deep hole of even worse depression. I don't know how to fix this, okay? I've given the advice that I can give. Now get out there. Good luck. He's gonna need it. Be me, live in small town, only so many jobs, quit like 10 jobs. Everybody knows me and won't hire me now. Try that in a small town.
See how far you make it down the road.
Not even Walmart will hire me. What do I do, bros? Learn to commute, get a car, hop your happy ass on the bus. There's 1,000 ways to do it if you really want to do it. This is just your excuse, because clearly quitting 10 jobs, you don't have any sort of stick-to-itiveness. And that does not bode well for your own prospects or future, you know? Only thing left to do now, yeah, go move to the next town over and quit all those jobs. Just start quit maxing, bro. That's gonna solve all your problems if you just don't stick to anything ever. Am I helping? I really do feel like I'm helping today, but we gotta move on. Roger Ebert said, video games can never be art. Well, guess what, Roger Ebert? You're dead and I'm not, and that means that I was right. Having once made the statement above, I've declined all opportunities to enlarge upon it or defend it. That seemed to be a fool's errand. Especially given the volume of messages I receive urging me to play this game or that one and recant the error of my ways. Nevertheless, I remain convinced that in principle, video games cannot be art. Perhaps it's foolish of me to say never, because never, as Rick Wakeman informs us, is a long, long time. Let me just say that no video gamer now living will survive long enough to experience the medium as an art form. I presume the real problem that he has with it as an art form is that it's interactive. That's a staunch part of Ebert's definition of art, and whatever, you're allowed to be wrong, I guess. To me, art is more like, a means of human expression, to evoke emotion or challenge your perceptions. God forbid we simply entertain people by telling a good story. Well, you had to click a button to advance the film. Yeah, but God of War still tells a pretty good story, right? If we had an auto clicker, would that make it more of an art form for you? Strange debates. Really doesn't matter because Ebert's dead now, like I said. Anon says, it's actually all his fault. Single-handedly made Western game devs so insecure that they turned their games into inexpensive, bloated, glorified movies, soon leading to an industry crash. I'm not even going to put that on Robert Ebert's shoulders, man. I think it's just because cinematics are easier to program. How do you bug test a cinematic? Okay, click all the other buttons while it's going on, I guess. It's done purely out of laziness, not to bring video games closer to Robert Ebert's very narrow vision of what art is. That's a crazy take. But nobody's take is as terrible as Robert Ebert's in this case. Rest in piss. All right, next one. Be me, 22-year-old uni student in senior year, was once considered smart and had honors and AP classes in high school. As soon as I hit college, all of my work ethic flew out the window and I became incredibly lazy for no apparent reason. Because being smart allows you to be lazy even if your true potential is never reached, that's absolutely fine because middling is what is expected from most people, so why not just coast along? I was you at one point, Anon. Still am in some ways. Anyway, love to sleep all day and play Vidya at night. See? We're like brothers. Teachers never called me out, and I just coasted by for 4 years. Failed some classes, but am almost at graduation. Be this semester. Today. Have exam. Show up early, take the test, give the test to the professor. He holds it, looks at it for a second, and then stares at me. Oh god, oh crap, oh fuck. .png. Have a short premonition, get an impending sense of doom. Professor goes, "You need to start coming to class. That goes for all 3 of them." Remember that I had this professor for 3 classes. Face goes red. Deer in headlights look. I don't even know what to say. Yep. I managed to creak out of my mouth. Professor says something like, "If there's something going on, we can talk about it, but you need to start showing up." Realize that he probably remembers having me in class a year and a half ago when I still barely attended and got a B in the course. Thanks, I say, and quickly leave. Dude, the professor totally teacher mogged you while you were trying to absence max. Wow, Anons. I never thought I'd get caught. I mean, I'm sure they noticed before, but my professors really never called me out like that. I am very embarrassed, but in a weird way, also a little impressed. Yeah, he's a teacher who cares, I guess. He didn't even give a fuck about how he delivered what he wanted to say. He just went balls to the wall and scolded me. Keck, what should I do now? Maybe I will go to class. I honestly don't want to see him be more angry. Yeah, and plus, you paid the tuition. You're really only screwing yourself at the end of the day. Maybe the professor would offer some insights that you hadn't considered of, that hadn't been put on the test. There's some nuance there. I think it's a good thing to go to class. Helps develop a routine, you get to know some people. It's good for you, but really you could do whatever you want. When he does finally get the degree, he's going to be like, I don't know, the job didn't just fall into my lap, so I might as well keep sleeping all day. It's not the way to go, man. But yeah, good luck out there. We got to press on. Speaking of pressing on, this post is likely to give me some depression. BB, 28 male, have a daughter. She's 5 and in private school. Bust my ass to pay tuition. Didn't want the public school system corrupting her. I get a call from her mother while at work. She caught our daughter recording herself twerking bottomless with her tablet. Jesus Christ. So as soon as I buy my kids anything that has a camera on it, I stab the camera with a screwdriver. We're not going to have any of this shit. I don't actually do it, but I'm tempted to after reading this. Leave work early, rush home, interrogate daughter on where she learned that behavior. Turns out she learned this behavior from another girl in her class. All that hard work, and they still got her. Who is they? Also, yes, they did. She's 5 and already on her way to becoming a whore. Well, maybe you need to spend less time working and more time teaching your daughter that she's a valuable human being deserving of respect. It's a hard thing to balance, I'll admit to you that much. But for your well-being, your daughter's well-being, yeah, maybe don't work so hard putting her through private school and spend a little bit more time with her. Because time is really the most important thing. You can always make more money. You can never make more time. And it's time to turn it around. So good luck with all that. I'm on to the next post. 3 million malware-infected smart toothbrushes used in Swiss DDoS attacks. Botnet causes millions of euros in damage. Updated. I watch Mudhar from Some Ordinary Gamers talk about this, and yes, the Internet of Things is a terrifying thing. I remember a website from maybe a decade back where you could just flip through people's unsecured home video cameras. And it seems that things have only gotten worse. Now the toothbrushes are smart. You can hack it and see the inside of your crush's mouth. Smart toothbrushes cause millions in damage, says Anon. Very helpful. Definitely adding context to this. You all remember those toothbrushes that'd play music through your teeth as you brushed, and it was aimed at kids?
Tooth Tunes is the only brush that sends music through your teeth and into your head.
God. Late 90s, early 2000s. Yes, I'm flashing back. It won't be long before your smart toothbrush is playing ads while you're brushing. We've paused your brush time so you can listen to a word from our sponsors. Brushing will resume after these short ads. Oh my God, so accurate, and also the world I never wanted to live in. Brushing with a Colgate, Oral-B ad comes on, berates and bullies me into buying an Oral-B. Brushing with an Oral-B, Colgate ad comes on, rinse, repeat, ad infinitum. And then Big Brain Boy comes walking into the thread, and this Anon says, you could have an AI with the voice of a cute girl who bullies or praises you based on the way you're brushing or your brushing habits. I can see an entire untapped market here. The terrifying thing is, he's right. Fat autist neckbeards with impeccable dental hygiene. I can see it now. We've cured one problem and created 1,000 more. Just like humanity has done for thousands of years. And we will continue doing it, damn it, until it turns out right. Anyway, next post. This thread starts with a deep-fried Pikachu picture. That's how you know it's gonna be good. I want your feedback to see if this is a realistic way of going missing that I'm considering. Interesting course of action. Elucidate. I saved up enough money to be able to go on a vacation to any sort of area near the sea or ocean. Once there, I rent a vehicle that can transport me across water. Probably a jet ski. I don't know how far out a jet ski's gonna get you, dude. Swim as far away from the shore as possible. Stab myself a few times. Throw myself into the water. I don't think you realize how difficult it would be to stab yourself even once on purpose.
Come on, look, getting stab's not that big a deal. See? Oop, few more. Oop, oop, oop.
Doesn't your survival instinct kick in at some point? In the water I could bleed out, and the water helps decompose me quicker, so it's not recognizable if I end up being found. Mysteriously disappear. I mean, is this to preserve your family's feelings about the terrible thing that you've decided to do to yourself? Don't decide to do this to yourself, Anon. You could go missing and go to Budapest. Dance for peanuts.
Dance for peanuts? That's funny.
Yeah, there's 1,000 other lives you can live out there.
You flip-flop your peanuts together?
Oh.
Make them dance?
Yeah, and then you put them in your mouth afterward when they're nice and salty.
Put our nuts in your mouth.
Oh, all right.
So it's floppy nuts now. You call it floppy nuts.
Floppy nuts.
Yeah.
Salted floppy nuts. Mrs. ReddX, ladies and gentlemen, isn't she beautiful? Let's see where the next post takes us. That last one's a little dark. Turn 18. Mom is an on and off again addict. She's in the middle of one of those times where she's using daily. She kicks me out because, quote, I'm too expensive. So I call my brother, who cut us off in desperation. He seems legitimately excited to hear from me. Says he'll pick me up. Unironically flies in with a ticket for me to fly home with him. Surprises me with his boyfriend when we get there. Turns out that he was excommunicated because our mom hates the gays. I mean, she's just looking for any reason to push people out of her life at this point. It starts out with, oh, he likes the gays, and it ends with, yeah, you're too expensive to exist around me. She's going to end up very old and very alone, and nobody will care. It would almost be sad, except for the fact that she made this choice. Anyway, he didn't know my phone number and had no idea that I had his. Weird for me because anti-gay upbringing, but I can deal with it. Except I noticed immediately that his boyfriend is like 6'5", and my brother's shorter than me, and I'm only 5'7". I have to hear him getting piped down every night.
Take it, boy. Yeah. Take it like a man. Yeah. Good boy.
Yes. Which path shall you choose? Both are fraught with danger. Honestly, it probably is better than living with an addict. At least he's dependable. He feeds you, clothes you, houses you, and the price that you have to pay is listening to him get a little boom boom on. I think it's fine. This is good motivation to get out and find your own place at some point, is it not? The universe always seems to work itself out. As the top commenter in this thread says, Born to Hula, earplugs are cheap. Someone who loves you is priceless. Yeah, and I bet Anand's brother would love him real good.
And I'm a man who loves to play with boys. What the? No, wait a minute.
It's weird. That's weird. We're not going there. I'm glad the Greentexts didn't go there. I don't know why I had to take it there. I think I've been poisoned. Too much of the doom scrolling. I'm now filled with the poison. So let's poison ourselves some more. Be me. Handsome Latino husband cooks, cleans, and basically does all the chores for me. He also works, with his income being not that far from mine. He's also emotionally supportive and always available for me at all times. I deny him my entire affection myself because deep down, I was still thinking about my first boyfriend. I'm pretty sure this is fanfic, but let's go with it. I'm late at our anniversary. I offer starfish lay after not having any intimate times for months due to my low drive. Yeah, that libido could be a hell of a thing. But he's putting in far too much work to get treated like this. If he respects himself at all, he won't stand for it, as we see in the next sentence. Due to my unavailability, my husband begins to seek affection from another woman at work. Oh, how dare he want to feel like a human being. Although, he should have been more upfront and honest about the situation, because it is a really crappy thing to do to somebody that you're legally bound to through a marriage contract. Anyway, Anon says, I found out about this. At first, I thought it was just about the intimacy because my libido is extremely low and I was eager to let it slide because it was purely physical. I find out that they didn't even bang. They just comfort each other emotionally. I mean, yeah, that's how it starts. I feel enraged after realizing he invested his feelings in that woman. Willing to forgive him and make the necessary steps to repair our relationship. Try to cook for him and do the chores. Proactively plan dates and outright offer him some intimacy. But he says he doesn't love me anymore. Well, good for him. Finally speaking his feelings a little bit too late. I check out this whore my husband cheated on with. She's not even a 6, when I'm a solid 9 at least. You see, the weird thing about like social media, Instagram culture is most women think they're a 9, even if they are objectively a 6. She's short, clumsy, chubby, Asian. I'm tall, fit, blue-eyed, long blonde hair. Yeah, and a useless lazy bitch. I'm just saying. The inside counts for a lot more than the outside, because the outside, all that's gonna go eventually. You need somebody you connect with on a spiritual level. And I'm glad that husband realizes that they're not connecting on a spiritual level before any more time passed. Anon continues, husband is still waiting to accompany me to my younger sister's college graduation. I asked him to come because my family likes my husband. He's still gentle and nice and supportive. I beg him to start over again, but he isn't willing. Every day I realize how much control I've lost over him. He wants the divorce so he can be with that woman instead. I mean, Anon is literally out here pretending to be a married woman, so yes, fake and also gay. But these things are known to happen from time to time. If the other person's willing to fix the relationship, you maybe should give them a chance, but I don't know. It might be one of those love bombing things and they slip back into the way things were. You know that part of her is inside and just waiting to come out, and yeah, you probably don't respect her anymore after that. It's time for you to realize that love goes both ways. If it's a true post, she totally deserved it, honestly. But it's not, so don't worry about it. Next post. Australia Anon. Do women in your country refuse to date men who use Android instead of iPhone? Flag. Yes, it is becoming alarmingly common. You mean I gotta walk around with Babby's first smartphone to possibly attract an exceedingly shallow woman who knows nothing about tech, which is like a pretty big part of my life? Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on all of that. Thank you very much. I do have some investment in Apple, but yeah, I don't actually want their products. I'll admit that like an iMac can do some things that maybe a Windows PC couldn't. But at the end of the day, I know I'm just going to end up with a Linux system eventually because it's so customizable. It's so delicious. And of course, I'm going to use the only Linux OS that matches the branding of the channel, and that is Fedora. Yes, Linux Fedora. Good for dapper gentlemen. It will surely get you all the m'ladies. Anyway, next one. Get a job through social services. First day, the shortest Asian woman I've ever seen in my life spends half the day talking to me, forces me to download some app so we can talk, asks me to marry her after 4 days. I say yes because I literally don't understand what's happening. I am completely childlike due to being neat for so long. She starts bringing me food and clothes. Do I ask my parents for help?
What's wrong with you? You a grown-ass man.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Hello? Shortest Asian woman ever? Anon doesn't want to marry you, actually. I'm sorry. Yeah. Just say the things that you want to say. It's not that hard. I just don't understand what she wants. Ask her. My social worker literally just laughed for 5 minutes after I showed her our texts. Could you show us some of the texts, Anon? Because I'd be quite curious in what they say. It seems like she's India, from what I could tell. Why not give it a try? Maybe she could fix you in some way we can't perceive. It happened to me. True story. Anyways, we'll move on. Be me. Be sick of being a mentally ill schizoid autist. Like any of that's even that bad. I decide that I'm going to NPC max, buy a 6-pack of beer, turn on the cricket, and spend the whole night trying to suppress any internal monologue that I might have. Anytime a thought comes up, I just drown it out with some NPC phrases. Yeah, the Windies are looking pretty good this year. They're really putting me under the pump at work. Yeah, I guess the last Marvel film was all right. I get tired and buzzed and go to bed. This is usually the time when the existential dread hits the hardest. I just use my trick to interrupt my internal monologue. I've never been a huge fan of the imported beers. The lawn could use a bit of a mow. It's a hot one today, but at least it's a dry heat. Yes, maybe this is the path to true happiness. So I fall asleep pretty fast. I wake up feeling better than I ever have. Get to the office, head straight to the kitchen for coffee. One of my coworkers, who I never talk to, is there already. Without thinking, I just blurt out, "Hey, back at it for another week." He says, "Too right, mate, too right. Another hot one today, though, eh? Yeah, but at least it's a dry heat." Get to my desk feeling pretty pumped. Not gonna lie, bros, this feels pretty fucking good. You should try it. What's up with all these subliminal posts lately? Just legions of straight anons turning gay, and now we've got people trying to turn the anons normal? Don't you understand that's where their superpowers come from? From the abnormality? Great tism takes great sacrifice, or something like Spider-Man said. The autistic Spider-Man from a multiverse we haven't experienced quite yet.
Hey, I'm here to save the day.
Oh God, Spider-Man, please don't! It's in my mouth!
But he's coming though, don't worry. Next post. Open game, stare at screen. Close game. Open game 2, stare at screen. Close game. Open game 3, stare at screen. Sigh. Close game. Is this that normie maxing thing you were talking about? Is that where all this leads? I've seen this before. I've lived it before. He's in the throes of a very deep depression. What you need to do is get yourself out of the house. No more video games for a little while, because you really can get burnt out if that's like the only thing you do. So for your own good, go take a walk. I'm not going to say touch grass, because that's condescending. You could touch some grass if you want while you're out there, but I'm not going to judge you if you do or don't. There's no more video games for a little while, okay, buddy? So I talked to my 5-year-old. Next post. Be young Ivy League educated staffer. Be called into a meeting with the President of the USA. Oh shit, this is it. This what I trained for. Biden asks a question. What do we do about the Gaza border? Well, Mr. President, given international pressure and the humanitarian crisis, I think we should ask Israel to open the border. Who? Israel, sir. Biden looks around disgusted. What the fuck does Israel have to do with the Gaza border? Blank stares. Sir, Gaza is in Israel. No, son, who borders Gaza? Mr. President, sir? No, Obama doesn't border Gaza. Who borders Gaza? Sweating. Israel, sir. No! Shaking, sweating. But sir, Mexico is on the border of Gaza, or little girls didn't play with my leg hairs in the pool. Okay. Dead silence. Now contact the president of Mexico, Mr. Putin, and tell him to tear down this wall. Yes, sir. Is that why nothing's getting done? There's a senile corpse in the White House, and really Obama's just there to weekend at Bernie's him for every press conference? It's not ideal, but it's what we have to deal with, okay? You wouldn't want to elect Orange Man, would you? Orange Man bad, everybody remember. This is turning into a very political episode. I should probably end it soon, but let's just do a couple more. Next post. Be me, Spanish, unemployed. I should learn to weld. Many jobs ask for it, and it would be a good addition to my CV. Go to unemployment services, and they do trade courses for free. I'm not selected, however, because I'm not unemployed enough, and Rashid and Matumbo have priority over my indigenous ass. Thank you again, DEI, for saving us from injustice. Fuck this place. This joke of a country run by literal thieves. Fuck boomers for being unindulgent crap that only thinks about Gibbs. Screw millennials for being NPCs, and screw Zoomers for being less than NPCs. This place is hell. You ain't seen nothing yet. It's only gonna get worse in the coming decades, and the best we could do is hunker down and hope for the best. Don't worry about it, Anon. You'll learn to weld once it all falls down. Then your services will really be in demand. Next post, rate my fantasy world. 0. Whatever you're gonna say, I probably hate it already. After a great crisis, the UN takes control over all governments. It's decided that too much technology will inevitably lead to the extinction of humanity. Technology gets frozen at early 21st century levels and restricted to the upper class, while normal people return to a medieval way of life. I mean, at that point, there would be nobody on the internet to make it fun anymore. It'd just be like rich people memes and stuff. The UN is turned into a global empire, where the nobility are those who are initiated into the secrets of technology. Everyone's a part of a new church that supports this state of affairs and teaches the commoners that the nobility's technology is magic, given to them by divine favor. And you know, a lot of people would probably believe that shit too. Also, all the women get married off between 12 and 18. Ooh. Engaged earlier and have to produce 10 or more children because the nobles sterilize most offspring in hopes of breeding a higher form of humanity that would be able to handle higher forms of technology. Wow. We really went off the rails at the end there, didn't we? I don't know if this is just a parody shitpost or if Anon really wants to bang a 12-year-old, but it doesn't matter to me anymore. We need Jesus to come back. That's what I'm gonna say. I'll probably be left behind with all the sinners, but that's okay with me. Let's just get this fucking party started, you know? I would like to be here for the beginning of the end. I mean, technically we already are, but I mean the actual beginning. Whatever, who cares? I'm gonna go home. I hope you guys will like, comment, subscribe on the video if you did enjoy. Check out the links in the description. Teespring if you'd like some merch. PayPal if you want to hit me up. Patreon. Oh, YouTube memberships. Those guys are doing the most. Little subscription service thanking me for what I do every single day. And as always, I am in their debt. Bless up, Jerry Army. Whether you can support in some way or not, don't sweat it. I'm just glad you're here, friends. Most importantly, I want you to remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye. Go ahead and cut them open. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.